My parents expected me to support my jobless brother, saying, "You're the successful one, so it's your duty." When I refused, they cut me off and gave him my childhood home. Years later, they came begging for help after he wasted everything. I smiled and said, "I'd love to help, but remember? You chose him." Their faces turned pale as I shut the door. Let me start by saying I never wanted revenge. I wasn't that kind of person. I just wanted peace. A stable life. And for my family to treat me with at least half the respect they gave my younger brother. But that didn't happen. I'm the oldest of two. I grew up in a small neighborhood in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. My dad worked at the post office for over 30 years. My mom stayed home until we were older, then worked part-time at a local clinic. They always made it clear we had to work hard. Be responsible. Save money. Be respectful. At least that's what they told me. Then there's my brother, Ray. Ray is 4 years younger than me. And he's always been a screw-up. That's not bitterness talking, it's just the truth. He got caught shoplifting at 15. Got suspended 3 times in high school. Barely graduated. Went to college, dropped out in the first semester. Tried community college, dropped out again. Got a job delivering pizza, got fired. Got another job at a vape shop, got fired for not showing up. This was his pattern. He never stuck with anything. Meanwhile, I did everything they told me to. I worked at a hardware store during high school, saved up money. Got a partial scholarship to Georgia Tech, studied my ass off. Graduated with honors. Got a job right after college doing mechanical engineering. Moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. Lived below my means. Paid off my student loans early. Bought a small house. I thought they'd be proud of me. Instead, all I ever heard was, "Ray just needs time. He's trying. He's had a harder time than you. You're the strong one." Translation: Ray can do whatever he wants, and I'm expected to make up for it. At first, it was small stuff. My parents would borrow money from me and not pay it back. They asked me to co-sign Ray's car loan, I didn't. Then they guilted me for not sending Ray money when he was between jobs. One time I found out they were using money I sent them for house repairs to cover his rent. I told them it wasn't okay. They said I was being selfish. Then in 2018, everything blew up. I was home visiting for the weekend. My dad sat me down in the living room and said they had something important to tell me. They were giving Ray the house. Not letting him live there. Giving it to him. They said they were going to transfer the deed, make him the full legal owner. My childhood home, the one my grandpa built with his bare hands in the 60s. The place I spent every Christmas, every birthday, every snow day. The house I helped repaint the summer after my freshman year. It was now Ray's. Just like that. I couldn't believe it. When I asked them why, my mom said, "You have a good life. A house. A good job. Ray has nothing. He needs it more than you. You'll be fine." That was the last time I visited. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just left. It felt like a part of me died that day. Like my own family chose someone else over me, and didn't even hesitate. They didn't care what it meant to me. They didn't even ask how I felt about it. They just assumed I'd be fine. What happened after that? I stayed away. I didn't answer calls. I didn't go home for the holidays. I focused on my career. Got promoted. Started consulting on the side. Bought a better house. Met my now wife, Talia, and we got married in 2020. I didn't even tell my parents. Ray? He trashed the house. I started getting messages from old neighbors. They said there were loud parties every weekend. People coming and going at all hours. One guy said he saw someone climb out of the living room window like it was normal. Someone else said Ray was renting out rooms on Craigslist to random people. The house went downhill fast. The lawn turned into weeds. The fence collapsed. The back porch was covered in junk. Someone spray-painted the garage door. My mom's rose garden was dead. You could smell beer from the sidewalk. By 2023, the city was threatening fines. Code violations were piling up. Turns out Ray had taken out 2 personal loans using the house as collateral. Then he stopped paying the property taxes. But hey, he needed the help, right? Then came the call. I was driving home one evening, just a regular Thursday, when I saw a number I hadn't seen in years. My mom. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. I picked up. Her voice was shaky. "Marcus, we need help." She explained everything. The house had been foreclosed. Ray was out. The bank took it. He had moved back in with them, and within 3 months, he cleaned them out. He stole their jewelry, their emergency savings, took out a credit card in my dad's name and maxed it out. And now they were facing eviction from their condo in Knoxville. She asked if I could help out a little, just until they figured things out. I didn't say anything at first. I pulled into my driveway, sat there, took a deep breath. Remember when you gave him the house? I asked. Silence. You told me I'd be fine. That it was my duty to help him. Well, I'm fine. And I'm going to stay that way. I hung up. I walked inside. My wife took one look at my face and asked, "Was it them?" I nodded. She didn't ask anything else. She knew the story. She had been there the day they gave Ray the house. She saw what it did to me. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 2 weeks after that phone call, I thought it was done. I thought they'd finally get the message and leave me alone. But they didn't. They showed up at my house. Literally. Drove 3 hours from Knoxville to Charlotte without telling me. I didn't even know they had my address. I'd moved twice since I last gave it to them. Turns out, my mom got it from a Christmas card I sent my cousin last year. I only sent it because she was recovering from surgery, and I wanted her to feel remembered. It was a Saturday morning. I was in the garage organizing some tools when I heard a knock on the door. My wife answered, then called me out in a weird tone. I came to the front door, and there they were. My mom, holding her purse tight like it was armor. My dad standing behind her, looking thinner than I remembered. His hair had gone fully gray, and his face looked tired, older than he should have looked. "We didn't know how else to reach you," Mom said. I didn't say anything. Just stared. "Marcus," Dad added, "we're not here to fight. We're just asking for help." They started talking fast. Too fast. Like if they got all the words out quick enough, they could escape what they'd done. Ray was gone. Disappeared. He left one night and never came back. Took Dad's truck, too. They hadn't heard from him in a month. Police wouldn't do much. He was over 30 and not listed as missing. Just off the grid. Meanwhile, their landlord wanted them out in 30 days. They had no money left. Their credit was wrecked. They had nothing. They wanted to live with me. I stood there on the porch, arms crossed, heart thudding. "We wouldn't be a burden," Mom said. "We can help around the house. We could watch your daughter while you work." And that's when I lost it. "You want to live in my house?" I said. "After what you did? After you gave away my home and told me to deal with it?" My voice cracked. I didn't care. Years of buried anger were boiling up. "You chose him. You gave him everything. And when he ruined it all, I'm the backup plan?" They looked stunned. Like they couldn't believe I'd talked to them that way. Then my mom said the line that nearly made me throw up. "But you're doing so well. You can afford to help. It's not fair to leave us like this." Fair. That word. I saw red. "You want to talk about fair?" I snapped. "You didn't give me that chance. You didn't even ask. You made a decision and expected me to just nod along like I always did." They tried to explain. Said they never thought Ray would ruin things this bad. Said they were desperate. Said they'd learned their lesson. I didn't care. I told them I needed time to think and closed the door. For the next few days, I couldn't sleep. Every time I looked at my daughter, I thought about how my own parents had thrown me away. I thought about how they chose my brother over me, and now they wanted to move into the life I built without their help. Then something unexpected happened. Ray showed up. Not to my house. Not to my parents either. He got arrested. Turns out he was caught shoplifting from a liquor store in Nashville. Got into a fight with the clerk. Cops ran his name and found he had 3 open warrants. 1 for identity theft. 2 for grand theft auto. He'd been stealing cars. My dad called me that night. He was crying. Said he felt like he failed as a father. Said he didn't recognize his own son anymore. That part hit me. Because I knew exactly how that felt. But I didn't say that out loud. I let him talk. I didn't comfort him. I didn't scream either. I just listened. After that call, something changed in me. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But I realized my dad wasn't just ashamed of Ray. He was ashamed of himself. Meanwhile, my mom sent me an email. A long one. She admitted everything. How she always believed Ray would come around. How she saw me as the stable one and didn't think I'd ever shut them out. She said she felt like she was drowning. But still, at the end of the email, she asked again. "Could you please help us, even just a little? Maybe a loan? We'll pay you back, I swear." And then came the real twist. A few days later, I got a knock on the door. This time, it was someone I didn't recognize. A woman. Early 30s. Brown hair in a ponytail. Worn out jeans. Tired eyes. She asked if I was Marcus. Said her name was Lena. She was holding a toddler in one arm. The kid was maybe 2. Blonde curls, sticky hands, a juice box in one fist. "I think I'm your niece," she said. "And I think Ray's the father." Apparently, Ray had been living with her 2 years ago, told her he was trying to get clean, trying to fix his life. They had a brief thing. She got pregnant. He bailed before the kid was born. Left her with rent bills, took her debit card, vanished. She tracked him down last month, and somehow my name came up when she searched online. She wasn't here for money. She just wanted her daughter to know who her family was. I let them sit inside for a bit. Gave the girl a juice. Let Lena explain everything. And in the middle of all of it, I realized something. Ray didn't just screw over our parents. He created a whole new mess for someone else, too. A mess that might eventually land on me if I didn't draw a hard line now. I didn't know what to say to Lena at first. I believed her. The timeline fit. Her story had too many small details to be fake. And the girl, Amara, she said her name was, had Ray's eyes. Same pale green, same tired droopy lids, like nothing in the world ever excited her. But she also had something else. A little fire. She kept trying to pull my phone off the table, giggling when I told her. No. The kind of spark I hadn't seen in my brother in years. Lena didn't want anything. She made that clear. She didn't ask for child support. She didn't ask for a place to stay. She just wanted someone to know. I asked her why she came to me. "Because I figured you're the only one who might give a damn," she said. "And if something ever happens to me, I need to know someone out there might care about her." She left after an hour. Gave me her number. Told me I could call if I ever wanted to meet again. That night I couldn't sleep. All I could think about was how deep this mess really went. It wasn't just Ray burning bridges. He was lighting whole lives on fire and walking away. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in years. I drove to my childhood neighborhood. I wanted to see the house. It wasn't ours anymore, it belonged to a bank now, or maybe some investor. But I just needed to see it. The street was quieter than I remembered. A few houses had been flipped. The Jenkins family still had their giant fake deer on the lawn. But my old house, it was wrecked. Windows boarded. Shingles missing. The porch rail I once helped Dad paint was rotting and covered in black spray paint. A broken couch sat on the front lawn, half sunk into the dead grass like it had been there for months. That was when the old neighbor from across the street, Mrs. Ellison, came outside and recognized me. "Marcus?" she said, squinting. "Is that you?" She hadn't aged much. Still had the same heavy curls and flowery apron. We talked for a bit. She told me everything. Confirmed what I'd heard. Loud music. Fights. Ray getting into screaming matches on the lawn. Police coming at least a dozen times. Said he once tried to sell an old water heater from the garage to some scrapper and ended up dropping it on his own foot. "Your folks tried to keep him straight," she said. "But they couldn't say no to him. He used them up. We all saw it coming." Before I left, she gave me a box. Said it was stuff my mom told her to throw out years ago when they were cleaning up the place. But she just couldn't bring herself to do it. Inside were old school projects, birthday cards, some photos. One of them was me at 11, holding a Lego trophy in front of the fireplace. I didn't even remember the photo being taken. But I looked happy. Really happy. And for the first time in years, I felt something crack open. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But something else. Resolve. When I got home, I called my parents. Told them we needed to talk. They agreed to meet me at a diner halfway between Charlotte and Knoxville. When they showed up, they looked tired. Smaller, even. Like they'd been carrying something too heavy for too long. I didn't hug them. We sat down, and I laid it all out. I know about the house. I know about the credit cards. The truck. The bank loans. I know about Lena. And Amara. Their faces went pale at that name. "You knew?" I asked. They nodded slowly. Turns out, Ray told them about the baby over a year ago. But told them not to say anything because Lena was crazy and just wanted money. They believed him. Of course they did. My mom started to cry. Said she wished she'd done things differently. My dad just sat there, quiet, chewing his lip. And then my mom said it again. "We made a mistake. But here's the twist. I found out from that lunch that my name was never removed from the original property title. Yep. They never finished the paperwork. My dad had started the process with a real estate lawyer, probably thinking it would help Ray get a loan, but never signed all the final docs. The deed was never properly transferred. It was still in a joint trust, with me listed as a beneficiary. Which means, when the house was foreclosed, the bank came after both names. And guess what? Because my name was still there, I had a lien notice sitting in my old Charlotte P.O. box I never checked. I was legally responsible for a part of the unpaid taxes and city fines. Tens of thousands of dollars. I nearly lost it at that table. You let him destroy that house, and I'm the one the bank might chase down? I said. They didn't even deny it. Just sat there, eyes low, shame thick in the air like smoke. And right then, I made a decision. This wasn't just about being cut off anymore. It wasn't about childhood wounds or a lost sense of home. This was war. The lien notice changed everything. I spent that entire night pacing, furious. I dug up the documents, checked every page. They never finished the title transfer. They thought it was done because they wanted it to be. But it wasn't. And because of that, I had skin in a fire I never lit. I called a lawyer the next morning. He confirmed everything. The trust was still active. My name was still there. And the city fees and tax penalties were stacking up under both names. I could fight it, but it'd take time and money. Meanwhile, it could show up on my credit. And the worst part? If they had just told me the truth before the house was lost, I might have saved it. I would have sold it. Rented it. Donated it. Anything. But no one said a word. They just let it rot. That's when I made my move. I invited my parents and Lena to meet at the old community center near the neighborhood. It was a small, aging building they used for birthdays and cookouts when I was a kid. Nothing fancy, but I knew it would hit them where it hurt, memory lane. I also called Mrs. Ellison, the old neighbor who gave me the box of photos. Told her she might want to be there. They all came. Even Ray. Yeah. He showed up. I don't know how he heard about it, probably my mom. She still thought he deserved a voice. He walked in like he owned the place. Same slouch swagger, same look of passive defiance. He had a fresh scar over his left eyebrow and a limp I hadn't seen before. He didn't say hi. Just nodded and found a chair. It was surreal. There they were, my mom, dad, brother, a woman my brother abandoned, her toddler daughter, and a neighbor who once brought me cookies when I got straight A's. I stood in front of them all, hands shaking. You want help? I said. You want forgiveness? Okay. Let's get some truth first. I pulled out copies of the title documents, tax liens, city fines, all of it, and passed them around. This isn't just about a house anymore. This is about lies. And what those lies cost. Ray didn't even look at the papers. He leaned back and rolled his eyes. Here we go, he muttered. Drama hour. I snapped. You ruined everything, I said loud enough that Amara flinched. You took the one thing that meant something to me and pissed all over it. You trashed our family's name. You took money, property, trust, and now you're just sitting there smirking? My mom stood up, trying to calm me down. Marcus, please, no. Not this time. I cut her off. You made your choice when you handed him the house. You didn't lose me after that. You gave me away. Tears welled up in her eyes. We thought we were doing the right thing, she said. We didn't know, you didn't want to know, Lena said suddenly, her voice sharp. He told you about me. About your granddaughter. And you looked the other way. That was the moment. You could feel it. My dad looked at Lena like he was seeing her for the first time. His face collapsed. He looked at the little girl clinging to her juice box and whispered, I didn't know she was real. Because you didn't ask. Lena shot back. Then Ray stood up. Looked at all of us. Smirk gone. Hands and fists. All of you act like I'm the villain, he said. But guess what? You made me this way. You always bailed me out. You never made me figure anything out myself. You just threw me the next thing, money, cars, houses. I never wanted the house. That hit like a gut punch. Silence. Even Mrs. Ellison, who hadn't said a word until then, leaned forward and said, That house meant something, Ray. Not just to your brother. To all of us. And you let it die. Ray stared at her, then at me. Well, you've got everything now, Marcus. What else do you want? Blood? No, I said. Just the truth. And this is it, I'm done. I won't fix this. I won't cover it. I won't explain it to credit collectors or lawyers. You all buried me in this, and now I'm digging my way out alone. Then I turned to my parents. You want to make it right? Tell the bank the truth. Get your names added back to the documents. Take the hit yourselves. Fight for it like I fought for every goddamn thing in my life. My mom cried. My dad nodded slowly. Ray walked out. Didn't say a word. The room sat in silence for a minute. Then Lena stood and picked up Amara. Thanks for letting us be here, she said. I didn't think it'd matter. But maybe it does. As they left, Amara turned and waved at me. Tiny hand? Juice-stained fingers. Eyes like her father's, but curious, hopeful. After that, we all left quietly. No one said much. In the weeks that followed, the fallout came fast. My parents hired a lawyer. They did add their names back to the foreclosure documents. They did start the process of assuming the legal responsibility for the debt. For the first time, they didn't ask me for help. They didn't even send updates. I heard from their attorney, not them. Ray vanished again. Last I heard, he was sleeping in someone's basement in Clarksville, working construction under the table. Lena and I kept in touch. Not a lot, just every couple weeks. She sent pictures of Amara at daycare, eating a banana like it was a weapon, coloring outside the lines. She never asked for a dime. Never guilt-tripped me. She just wanted connection. And I realized something. Maybe that's the revenge. That I get to keep my dignity. That I don't need to scream to be heard anymore. That the weight they dropped on me didn't crush me, it carved something sharper. Cleaner. I don't hate them anymore. But I don't love them the same either. That's gone. I think what hurt the most wasn't the money, or the house, or even the lies. It was realizing they never saw me as someone who needed anything. They saw me as a solution. A resource. A reliable backup plan. But not a son. Now, when I watch my daughter play in our backyard, I think about how I'll never let her feel that way. Never let her wonder where she stands. Because the worst betrayal isn't when someone takes from you. It's when they never plan to give anything at all. And for the first time in years, I'm okay with being the one who walked away. Still standing. Still mine.